The Egyptian Mystery School, Secrets Revealed Chapter 1. Introduction to the mystery schools in the golden sands of ancient Egypt, beneath the watchful eyes of the pyramids and the enigmatic Sphinx, thrived a civilization renowned for its achievements in science, art, and spirituality. As the Nile enriched the land, so too did a profound wisdom nourish the hearts and minds of its people. At the epicenter of this wisdom stood the mystery schools, hallowed institutions where the chosen few were initiated into the sacred secrets of the cosmos, the self, and the divine. Purpose of the mystery schools: the mystery schools of Egypt served as gateways to the esoteric teachings of the universe. Far from being mere centers of academic instruction, they were designed to guide the initiates toward self-realization and a deeper understanding of the cosmic order. For the ancients, true knowledge wasn't just intellectual, it was experiential, acquired through direct communion with the divine. Several reasons can be ascribed to their establishment. 1. Spiritual evolution. Central to the teachings of these schools was the belief in the soul's journey through various stages of enlightenment. By understanding and harnessing certain energies and principles, initiates could accelerate their spiritual growth and attain higher states of consciousness. 2. Guarding sacred knowledge. These schools were custodians of esoteric truths, shielding them from the profane and unprepared. By keeping these teachings secretive, they ensured that the powerful knowledge they held wouldn't be misused or misunderstood. 3. Social and political influence. Graduates of the mystery schools often held influential positions in society, guiding policies and decisions in alignment with the spiritual principles they'd learned. Origins of the mystery schools. The exact origins of the Egyptian mystery schools are shrouded in, well, mystery. However, scholars and esotericists believe that they were established during the early dynastic periods of Egypt, possibly even predating the dynasties. These schools might have evolved from earlier shamanic traditions of the indigenous peoples of Egypt. As the civilization grew and became more structured, so did its spiritual practices, leading to the formal establishment of these centers of learning. It's also believed that the wisdom taught in these schools had its roots in the ancient civilizations of Atlantis and Lemuria. While there's no concrete evidence to support these claims, many esoteric traditions hold that survivors from these lost continents brought with them advanced spiritual and practical knowledge, which became the foundation for the Egyptian mystery schools. Why were they established? As Egypt evolved, so did its spiritual needs. The leaders of the time recognized the importance of understanding the deeper aspects of existence to ensure the prosperity and spiritual well-being of their civilization. The mystery schools, therefore, were established. 1. To preserve cosmic harmony, the ancient Egyptians believed in the principle of Maut, which represented truth, balance, and cosmic order. The teachings of the mystery schools provided the tools and knowledge to maintain this harmony in both the individual and society. 2. Cultivation of priests and leaders. These institutions trained individuals who would serve as priests, priestesses, and leaders, ensuring that the spiritual and administrative duties of the civilization were carried out in alignment with cosmic principles. 3. Mastery over life and death. One of the profound teachings of these schools was the understanding of life, death, and the afterlife. By delving deep into these mysteries, initiates were prepared not just for this life, but for the journey beyond. In conclusion, the Egyptian mystery schools were much more than mere institutions of learning. They were the beating heart of a civilization, a bridge between the earthly and the divine, and the custodians of truths that still echo in the corridors of time. As we unravel their secrets, we find that their teachings, though ancient, are perennially relevant, offering wisdom for our own spiritual journeys. Chapter 2. The sacred science, the vast landscapes of Egypt, with its grandiose pyramids and sprawling temples, weren't just architectural marvels, they were symbolic representations of a higher understanding. At the heart of ancient Egyptian civilization lay the sacred science, a confluence of spirituality, mathematics, and nature. This harmonious integration held the cosmos together and ensured the flourishing of both the land and its people. Spirituality, the divine blueprint for the Egyptians. Spirituality wasn't an abstract concept but the very fabric of existence. They perceived the divine in every facet of life. The gods and goddesses of their pantheon weren't merely mythological entities, they were manifestations of cosmic principles. Each deity represented aspects of the universe or human experience, acting as guiding lights and protectors for the people. The principle of Maut, embodying truth, balance, and order, was foundational. For Egyptians, aligning with Maut meant harmonizing one's life with cosmic order, and this spiritual alignment had real, tangible impacts on the world. Mathematics, the language of the cosmos. To the ancient Egyptians, mathematics was more than a tool for measurement or trade, it was the language of the cosmos. Through numbers and their relationships, they sought to understand the patterns and cycles of the universe. The famed golden ratio, seen in various constructions like the pyramids, isn't just a mathematical curiosity but a reflection of the divine proportion inherent in all of creation. Their advanced understanding of geometry, evident in the precision with which their monuments were built, was not just for aesthetic or functional purposes. Geometry was sacred, a means to resonate with cosmic frequencies. The very design of the pyramids, for instance, aligns with celestial bodies, showcasing their deep understanding of the interconnectedness of land, sky, and numbers. Nature, the living testament. Nature was the living testament of the sacred science. The life-giving Nile, the cycles of the moon, the yearly inundation, the shifting sands of the desert, all were seen as manifestations of the interplay between the spiritual and the mathematical. The papyrus flower, which blooms beautifully from the mud, was symbolic of creation and rebirth, a reflection of the soul's journey from the material to the ethereal. Similarly, the scarab beetle, which rolls its ball of dung, from which its offspring emerge, was a symbol of regeneration and the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The consistent and predictable rising and setting of the sun, embodied by the sun god Ra, was another profound reflection of this sacred harmony. It was a daily testament to the perfect balance between the spiritual realm, represented by Ra's nightly journey through the underworld, and the mathematical precision of nature. Harmonization in practice. This intricate blend of spirituality, mathematics, and nature was not just philosophical, it had practical implications in daily Egyptian life. 1. Architecture and construction. As mentioned, monuments like the pyramids and temples were designed using sacred geometry. They were oriented towards specific celestial bodies, turning them into terrestrial cosmic synchronizers. 2. Agriculture. The Egyptians' agricultural practices were closely aligned with the cycles of the Nile and the celestial movements. By understanding these patterns, they could predict the annual inundation of the Nile, ensuring their crops thrived. 3. Calendar systems. Their calendar, closely tied to the lunar cycle and the heliacal rising of the star Sirius, is a testament to their keen observation of natural cycles and their mathematical representation. 4. Medicine and healing. The body was seen as a microcosm of the universe. Health was maintained by ensuring a balance of the body's energies, achieved through knowledge of herbs, sacred geometry, and spiritual rituals. In conclusion, the sacred science was the lifeblood of ancient Egyptian thought and culture. By understanding the divine blueprint through spirituality, expressing it mathematically, and observing its manifestation in nature, the Egyptians crafted a holistic worldview that resonates even today. Their legacy is a reminder that in the dance between the seen and the unseen, the tangible and the ethereal, there lies a harmony waiting to be discovered. Chapter 3. Initiation rites behind the veiled chambers of Egypt's grand temples. A profound metamorphosis took place. Those chosen to walk the path of the mystery schools faced rigorous initiation rites, each designed to transform them from ordinary beings into vessels of divine wisdom. These ceremonies were shrouded in secrecy, known only to the initiated. However, through fragments of texts, architectural clues, and esoteric traditions, we can piece together a tapestry of these transformative experiences. The purpose of initiation. Before delving into the specifics of the rites, it's crucial to understand their purpose. Initiation wasn't merely symbolic, it was a genuine transformation. The trials and ceremonies served multiple functions. 1. Purification. To receive higher knowledge, initiates needed to be pure in body, mind, and spirit. The rites helped cleanse them of earthly impurities. 2. Testing. Not everyone was deemed worthy of the school's secrets. The trials tested an initiate's mettle, determination, and sincerity. 3. Awakening. Through these rites, dormant spiritual faculties within the initiates were awakened, enhancing their perception and understanding of the mysteries. 4. Consecration. The initiates were dedicated to serving the higher principles they'd been taught, ensuring the wisdom would be upheld and passed down. The journey through darkness. One of the fundamental experiences was a journey through darkness. Initiates might be blindfolded or placed in dark chambers within the temple. This sensory deprivation served multiple purposes: symbolic death. The darkness represented the death of the old self, making way for rebirth. Heightened awareness. In the absence of sight, other senses were amplified. This helped the initiate develop heightened spiritual perception. After what might have been days, they would be brought into the light, symbolizing rebirth and enlightenment. Facing the fears. Initiates were often subjected to trials designed to confront and overcome their deepest fears. Whether it was facing dangerous animals, crossing treacherous paths, or being exposed to elements, the goal was to instill inner strength and show that fear was a mind-made barrier. The Hall of Maut. A pivotal point in the initiation was the presentation to the Hall of Maut. Here, they would undergo a symbolic judgment, much like the deceased in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Their heart, representing their soul, would be weighed against the feather of Maut, truth and order. This ceremony underscored the importance of living in harmony with cosmic order. The mystical teachings. Beyond the physical and mental trials, initiates were introduced to the esoteric teachings of the school. This often took place in sacred chambers, designed with precise acoustics and geometry to facilitate altered states of consciousness. Through chants, meditation, and sacred rituals, they would receive revelations of the universe's secrets. Sacraments and sacred plants. There's evidence to suggest that certain initiation rites involved the use of sacraments or sacred plants to induce visionary experiences. These were not recreational but were administered under the guidance of priestly adepts to help the initiates experience divine realms and gain insights. The final rite, the Uraeus baptism. One of the crowning ceremonies was the Uraeus baptism. The Uraeus, represented by the rearing cobra, symbolized divine authority and protection. In this rite, the initiate was imbued with divine energies, often symbolized by the placement of an Uraeus amulet or crown upon their head. It was a testament that they had been touched by the divine and were now ready to serve as its vessel. conclusion, the initiation rites of the Egyptian mystery schools were not for the faint-hearted. They demanded everything of the initiate: body, mind, and soul. But those who emerged from the crucible did so transform, ready to bear the mantle of the school's wisdom. These rites, while rooted in ancient traditions, hold universal truths about human potential and transformation. They remind us that within each of us lies dormant faculties, waiting to be awakened, and that through trials and revelations, we can touch the divine within and without. Chapter 4. Hieroglyphs, language of the gods in the sun-baked stone of Egyptian temples, on the walls of sacred tombs, and within the folds of papyrus scrolls, lie intricate symbols that are more than mere writing. Hieroglyphs, the sacred script of ancient Egypt, are a testament to a civilization that believed in embedding spirituality into every aspect of life, including communication. To truly understand the depth of Egyptian thought and its mystery schools, one must dive into the profound waters of hieroglyphic wisdom. Origins of hieroglyphs. The word hieroglyph is derived from the Greek words hieros, sacred, and glyphein, to carve. Though their exact origins remain debated, hieroglyphs have been dated back as early as 3200 BCE. They were not the casual script of the common folk. Hieroglyphs were reserved for sacred texts, monumental inscriptions, and rituals, making them the conduit for communicating with the divine. Symbolism over simplicity. Unlike alphabets that represent sounds, each hieroglyph symbolized a concept. While they did have phonetic value, their primary strength lay in their ability to convey deeper meanings. An individual hieroglyph could encapsulate an entire story, principle, or philosophical idea. For instance, the Ankh, a familiar symbol resembling a cross with a loop at the top, represents life or living. Its presence in countless inscriptions and artifacts showcases the Egyptians' reverence for the concept of eternal life. Spiritual layers of communication. Hieroglyphs functioned on multiple levels. 1. Literal meaning. On the surface, hieroglyphs relayed the direct message or story. 2. Symbolic interpretation. Each hieroglyph held symbolic significance, connecting mundane events or objects to cosmic principles. 3. Mystical resonance. Advanced practitioners believed that using these symbols in rituals invoked the very essence of the gods or cosmic forces they represented. Hieroglyphs in ritual and magic. In the mystery schools and temples, hieroglyphs were essential tools. They were employed in rituals to invoke gods, channel energies, and manifest intentions. Because each symbol was a direct link to a specific divine energy, drawing, carving, or uttering it was akin to tapping into the very frequency of that deity or force. The use of hieroglyphs extended to amulets and talismans, which were believed to harness the power of the symbols inscribed upon them. A person wearing an amulet with the symbol of Maut, for instance, was invoking her protection and alignment with truth and justice. Preservation of sacred knowledge. The Egyptians believed in the importance of preserving their spiritual knowledge for posterity. Hieroglyphs were a means to this end. By encoding their wisdom in this sacred script, they ensured that the teachings would be protected from the uninitiated while remaining accessible to those trained to understand them. This is evident in the texts found in burial sites like the pyramid texts or the more universally recognized Book of the Dead. These weren't just funeral rites but encoded wisdom about the journey of the soul, the nature of existence, and the cosmos. The decline and resurgence with the rise of other scripts like hieratic and demotic, and later, the spread of Christianity, the use of hieroglyphs waned. The last known hieroglyphic inscription dates to 394 CE. For centuries, their meaning was lost, until the discovery of the Rosetta Stone in 1799, which allowed scholars to decipher them. Today, while we have unlocked much of the linguistic mysteries of hieroglyphs, their spiritual depths still beckon. There is a growing interest in esoteric circles to reconnect with the mystical wisdom encoded in these symbols. Conclusion: hieroglyphs stand as a testament to the Egyptian belief in the interconnectedness of all things. Every word wasn't just a collection of sounds but a tapestry of interwoven meanings, linking the earthly with the divine. In the echoes of these ancient symbols, we find a language that transcends time, inviting us to remember and rediscover the sacredness in all forms of expression. The hieroglyphs, truly, are the language of the gods, bridging the mortal realm with the eternal mysteries of the cosmos.